We have a tremendous opportunity to offer a career in which one can come to work with that sense of purpose and impact that we spoke about at the outset. And it's such a powerful motivating factor that we all share as colleagues within the industry. And I think that it's really attractive for the younger generation, that sense of purpose, belief in what one is doing, and to do something positive, because the newsreel about climate change is predominantly negative, of course, because as it should be, it's such a threat. And we come to work every day with such a positive sense of what we can do to have a positive impact on the world, and it's real and it's tangible and it makes economic sense, so it's a really powerful driver that we have, and is a very strong motivating factor for young people today, and rightly so, because it's our generation and the next generation that really have to deliver this change. Like, if I could go back in time, say 10 years ago, when I was expecting our first child and embarking on this period of starting a family and yet being in a challenging role, and like one reflection that I would have now would be that definitely at the time, I really was influenced by all of the kind of noise that sows doubt in your mind, as a young expectant mother, around, is it possible to have a career and to have a family, particularly, at that stage when, it's babies and young children. And of course it is really challenging. And all the narrative just seems to be so mutually exclusive. Is it possible to have it all? Is it possible to be a successful mother and have a successful career? And it all implied that if you're good at one, you're bad at the other. And that definitely that definitely caused me to hesitate a little bit and to worry about, well, if everybody else is saying it and if this is the general narrative, how am I going to be immune from it? So I think it's really important to talk about these, the times that I did find difficult and find challenging. And for me, once I kind of drowned out all of that noise and just focused on what would work for me and for my family, and making the choices that were right for us, then that definitely made it a lot easier. And then I just moved forward with my own path. But there are a lot of negative influences out there that I think can make it very difficult for young mothers, particularly with that juggle. I definitely would have called people out a lot. I got a lot of questions on, are you going to come back to work full time? Are you going to give up your job? And I would say, why are you not asking my male colleague that question? His wife is expecting their first child or second child or third child. And if you're asking me, I expect that you should be asking them too. And of course, people weren't and don't. It's very much a female focused type of narrative. What advice, Andreas, would you give to your male colleagues in particular? Because we all talk about advice to our female colleagues, but what advice would you give to your male colleagues with regard to, promoting better gender diversity across your organization and in the industry?
Yeah, that advice I give not only with regards to the gender aspect. I mentioned now several or a number of times that I think too often we fall into, I hire someone that is very, very like me. And that, of course, if you have a man engineer, hires a man engineer, and if that's a Spanish engineer, probably a Spanish engineer, male has the upper hand. And generally that people, and you used the word earlier, do something that is out of the expected. Be more courageous in your decisions in picking people. And that means different nationalities, but also, and clearly gender. I have now a female CFO, Beatrice, who joined us from a hotel group. So she's from a different industry, but she is from Spain, and I'm not Spanish. I can learn so much about Spain from her. And she also is very different in approaching things like me. And in that difference between her and me, I think we can achieve more than if I just had a second Andreas next to me. And this is the advice that I normally give to people. I know it's hard.